Well, hello friends. Today I'm going to hack a little bit on the toolbar buttons and menu actions in Serenity. So I have these toolbar actions here, which also show up in the menus, and currently they're always enabled. So they're not like contextually aware. They're like, for instance, when you don't have selection, maybe you shouldn't be able to cut, right? That's something that I would like to work on today, and likewise it should be disabled up here as well. So that's sort of what I had in mind, that I would make it possible to turn these off contextually. So the way that it works currently is that there is a GUI action class that represents a user interface action, and there's a single cut action represented both here and up in the menu here. An action can be added both to a toolbar and a menu, and exist in both places. And it is this guy right here, GUI action. So let's actually zoom in a little bit. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just go ahead and add a bool is enabled. And a bool set enabled function true, and here this is sort of gonna change the state of this action, and I figure it just makes testing a little bit easier for us in the beginning. We'll go ahead and pre-disable say the paste action, just so we can see what it looks like. Set enabled false, and then let's see. Then let's go in the GUI action class and actually implement this. And how would this work? So it needs to work in two separate ways, right? Because it needs to update any button that might be associated with this action, and then it also needs to update the menu if this action has a corresponding menu entry, and that is the menu data structures. They all live in the Windows server, so we have to actually send this information over to the Windows server. But let's start by just doing the basics here. So if M enabled is already whatever the new value is, then it's a no op. Okay, and then let's say for each toolbar button, and we'll just say G button. I guess it's set enabled. Okay, and of course we don't have this. And we'll also say for each menu item, G menu item set enabled. Okay, so then we have to actually make these little helpers, and how the heck should they work? Well, I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. Type name callback for each toolbar button. Callback. Okay, and same thing with the menu item. Let's just turn void, and we'll put these inside of the action class, just because maybe they have some outside utility, but not right now. So this makes it a bit easier, because then I can just use templated type for the callback. Okay, and let's see. So currently we don't have any way to tie back an action, or tie back from a toolbar button to an action. So the way you add an action to a toolbar is you use Toolbar Add Action. And it just creates a G button here, but this thing is not in any way bound to the action. So we could do something like button set action. Is that good? Or should we do item action add button? Maybe this is better. But then we don't find out that it goes away. Let's do button set action. Okay, and let's do it like this. And let's have the G button set action G action. Okay, and we can do forward declare that. So what I have in mind is that the button, every button can have an action associated with it. And if it has one, then we will be able to react to that action changing. So let's see, is action a weakable? No, but it could be. Okay, and we'll just include that. Okay, and let's go to G button. Oops. Void G button set action. And what this is going to do is that it's just going to say maction make weak putter, and we have to include this guy because otherwise we don't know how it works. And then we'll say action register button. I guess this, and then we'll say if action unregistered button this. Okay. Then we can just have a hash table of the buttons here. So let's go ahead and do a register button. Use a badge actually. The badge is a cute little pattern that I'm trying out to see if I like it. The idea is that you have to be G button in order to instantiate a badge, proving that you are a G button. It's like an authentication badge. So, in effect, it means that even though the register button is a public function, a public member function here, it can only be called by G button because only G button can instantiate a badge for G button. It's a little bit of a trick. Okay, and then also unregister, and then we also get the badge template and class G button, and I guess we also need hash table. Okay. And then we have to actually pass a badge, and this is how you pass a badge. I wish there was a slightly less complicated way of doing that. Maybe there is actually. Maybe I can just do this. Does that work? That would be really cool if it did. I never even tried that. Well, let me just try to build this whole thing for each toolbar button. I have all kinds of things here that don't line up. We need to include Yeah, this is not finished at all. G menu item. And G button. I guess we need to have enabled state for widgets. I was thinking like adding it only to the button, but let's go ahead and add it for all widgets. Of course, G button is a G widget. So let's say set enabled bool. Bool enabled. Cost return enabled. Oh, the boilerplate. And let's just default everyone to enabled. And we'll make an implementation with a no op ignore. Yep. And enabled is enabled update. Okay. This just means it will be painted. I guess I should actually enable is true here. Oh shit, sorry. Enabled is enabled. Did I do that right in GBudget? Yes, I did. Okay. G menu item also needs to have enabled state. So go ahead and add that as well. Set enabled bool. True. And I think we'll do the menu item part second in this thing here, but we'll start with the toolbar and then we'll work our way to the menu items. Jeez, come on. And return. Fix me actually tell the Windows. Okay. Can we at least get a build? Well, this is not going to do anything, and it doesn't even build anyway. We need to add a couple of helpers that we forgot about. G action register button. Hello. Then we just say M buttons set. And easily enough, unregistering is just a matter of removing. Okay. And for each toolbar button, we just want to iterate the buttons, and order doesn't really matter here at all. So we'll just say call back. What is IT? I guess that's fine. Don't need to be much fancier than that. And I guess we can just do the same mechanism for the menu items, actually. So let's just do this exactly the same way. Oops. Menu items. Take those. And come on now, guys. Forgot to change the badge type. Maybe I could make the badge actually pass itself, so I wouldn't need the second argument here. Well, it's something for another day. But yeah, this pattern can probably be improved. But I do like it so far. Still getting used to it. Keep forgetting to apply it. Hash table, achieve menu item. Okay. Menu items. How do we even keep these around? Menu item. Yeah, so they're stored in own putters, which are heap allocated objects, so that's fine. I just started worrying that maybe these were stack allocated, which would get kind of confusing, but they're not, so they stick around. Okay, and then in G menu, oh, hold on. G menu, items, where the hell do we, item action? Wait, hold on. G menu, item. Yeah, okay, so it's passed an action actually on instantiation. So this is easy, we just do item action. Register menu item, an empty batch, and this. And then if maction. Okay. Oh, so far so good. Of course, none of this makes any difference. So hold on now. G widget. Okay, so what the heck was it that I was thinking? That we should look different if we're enabled or not, right? So in the case of G button, I was thinking that we could sort of gray out the image, and the icon is rendered here. So how do we do this? That we'll just say if is enabled, do the normal thing, else painter dimmed. What's dimmed? Oh, I guess this will sort of work. I already wrote this or something else. Yeah, so this is a version of PainterBlit that converts the source image to grayscale and then darkens it a little bit. I don't know if we need a darkening, but let's try this at least just to check it out. Okay. Well, that thing is definitely not here. Okay, so what did we do to try to change that? So paste action, set enabled, and then we went through the toolbar buttons, called set enabled on it, and then that would cause it to update. And register buttons. Okay, so let's say notifying key buttons key menu item user. Okay, and let's see, m buttons size, menu items size, and m enabled. I just want to see what it looks like. Notifying nobody. Okay, so nobody cared because I didn't even add it to the menu yet at this point. I just instantiated the action. It's not added to anyone. That's fine because when you add it somewhere, it should respect whatever the enabled state of the action is. set action, that's fine. We'll actually do it right here. Set enabled action is enabled. G menu item. We'll do the same here. That M enabled is M action is enabled. Okay. Okay. So we have a little bit of an issue here that there's no alpha blending going on in my darkened renderer, but it does render in gray. So I think that's pretty okay for now. We dimmed. Let's see, blend with opacity, blend with alpha. I guess we can just do this. And let's see, do blend. RGBA to grayscale. Oh wait, hold on. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to grayscale the source. Wait, that don't look right. Right. Color from RGBA. Dot value. Shit, sorry. Okay. There we go. Now we have a nice graying effect there. For the disabled action, of course, you can still click it, but we know that it's in the right state. So that means that we can continue with the other stuff that we were thinking about here. So let's see. Maybe we should. What should we do? We should maybe. Well, let's do the button thing first, actually. So we shouldn't react to anything if we are disabled. So enter event means that mhovered is true, but we are not enabled. So let's see, we're going to paint. And paint button. What arguments do you take, my friend? Ooh, enabled. Let's just add one. Can never have too many arguments. Default to true. And I guess that if we are enabled, wait, what am I missing? Paint button new. Oh yeah, but this is not a button. This is a Toolbar button, so it will be here. And we're not pressed, and we shouldn't do any of this. Actually, we should just Toolbar then. Do none of this. Is that fine? I guess that's fine. If button style, let's say Toolbar not enabled. Okay, and then we'll pass that along here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we don't get the hover, but we can still do this. So let's see, if is enabled, then we allow this kind of business. Otherwise, we just don't. Turn. Yep. Okay. But you're not enabled. Why are you letting this happen? Being pressed. Oh geez. Right. So let's just check it here as well. Yeah, it's just a double-click detection. Okay, so now this thing is neutered. And we try to paste, doesn't work. Cut works, paste does not work. Okay, cool. But pasting with the shortcut does. Control V I just pressed. Okay, so let's go and take care of that. So shortcuts are here in the G event loop, which is the GUI event loop. And every action is registered with the event loop and the G actions hash map here. And we consult that hash map every time that we get a, where are you? Wait, why am I super blinded by this? G actions. Key event. Action for key event. Oh, wait, hold on. This is not used. Oh, that's silly. Well, that's a good discovery. Let's get rid of that. And instead, look at key event, and then we notice that actions are actually registered with the G application. And it consults it, asking, hey, can you give me an action for this key event? And then what we should do here is really say if action is enabled, then we activate it. Otherwise, I guess we should just not return. Maybe we should just let the event processing happen, actually. Yeah, that's probably the right thing to do. Okay. Okay. So let's try this. Control X, Control V does not work. Paste can't be clicked. Can you be activated from here? Yes, you can, because the menu is still where the business is at. Okay, so I guess now we gotta look at that. So let's see. What we gotta do is, so we have create menu, what's the thing? Add menu item. Yeah, that's the guy. And that's the type of client message that we're sending. And here is the menu specific event struct. So we'll go ahead and add a bool here. It's called like enabled. And then we will have to pass that along here. when we're doing an add menu item. So we'll say request menu.enabled. Action is enabled. Yeah, and see where else that's used. Go to the server side, and yeah, so now on the server side, we're creating this API add menu item request from this blob of a message. So go ahead and add that to the constructor parameters, and go ahead and tool enabled, and enabled is enabled, const return and enabled. Alright, almost there. Okay. And where are you used, my friend? That would be here in handle requests. So the Windows Server Client Connection handle request add menu item. Then we will say see menu item request is enabled, and then WS menu item has enabled. I already had a move for that, but it's not used anywhere. Well, I guess at some point I thought I would want this feature. WS menu item. Okay. So let's see, enabled, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And let's see, so let's make it so that these things are rendered slightly differently in the menu draw function here in the Windows server. So let's see, this is where we draw the text. So let's say, so it just passes text color here, as you can see. So if item is enabled, then the text color should be, oopsie doopsie. God, what am I doing? How about mid-gray? Is that cool? What seems to be the problem? $2.99. Message menu. Oh shit! What did I do here? Was there some other thing that I was not? Let's see. Shortcut text. Was I actually passing that? Oh. This is actually part of the string construction. I needed to do that and that. Okay. Menu item needed to have an enable flag. Much better. Okay, so let's try this out. Now you can cut. Can't paste here, can't paste like that. It looks different, but it will still work. So we gotta do something about that too. And how the heck does that work again? So let's see. Did activate, right. So we mouse up over this item, then we will say did activate, but if mHovered item is enabled, then we'll activate. Otherwise, we'll just not activate. I think that'll do it. Okay. Yeah, shit, nothing happens. Doesn't dismiss the menu though. I'm fine with that actually. It's kind of nice because then you can realize that you're clicking on something useless instead of the menu going away and nothing happening, which would be kind of weird. Alright, so what the heck was next? I guess dynamic updates. So this is all well and good, but this is just the initial state of the program, right? But now, what if you want to change this depending on some contextual circumstance? Let's say that in the gtext editor we would have a selection or not. Do I have something for that? No, but we could make something for that. Selection change. Okay. And then selection dot. Well, this is set in many places. Well, I guess we just gotta go here and text range. Oh, what the heck? Okay. I don't really want to deal with making a beautiful implementation of this because it's kind of outside the scope of this patch. So let's do something a little more hacky. We'll say that did update selection. I'll just put these after every selection update. How many can there be, right? Oh god, there gonna be like millions of these. It's been a while since I worked on this code. Come on, guy. Jeez. Okay, but there can't be that many more after this. We're almost there. I feel like we're almost there. Delete selection. Yeah. Okay, fine, whatever. This is not perfect, but selection. But it will do what we want. on selection change, on selection change. Right. Then what the heck did I want that for? In the main file, the editor, we'll do something like text editor on selection change. Let's see. Cut action set enabled. Text editor has selection. Right, this is what we want. So we'll just do something like this. So cut and copy should be based on whether you have a selection or not. Oh, but we just totally fucked that up. Where am I doing this now? Cut action. Oh yeah, because it's been moved. Well, can't be moving that. Frickin' move semantics. Make a copy instead then, jeez. Okay. Done. Well, I feel like nothing is really happening here, but would I even be able to tell with these guys? Well, yeah, because it's actually hoverable, regardless. So it's not working the way I hoped. All right. That was a bit too much to hope for. Okay. So let's see. Cut and copy enabled. Text editor as selection. Let's just verify that we are having the right idea. Cut and copy enable. Selection keeps changing. Why is cut and copy enabled? Why do you believe that we had a selection? It is valid. Clear. Okay, this is not exactly how I thought this would work. What do you mean that you are valid? Has cell. Doesn't anyone rely on this thing? So much code relies on this thing. If you have a selection, then go to delete selection. Do you ever not have a selection? Well, after you delete, you don't have a selection. Click anywhere and you have a selection then. Okay, so pressing delete. Well, that's just really confused. Okay, well, we can see that when we press delete, we don't have a selection. This is not perfect. This isn't the way I wanted this to work. Why the heck? Okay, I don't want to work on the text editor right now, but we're just clicking somewhere, right? So we're mouse downing somewhere, which means that we, let's see, mouse left, we're not holding shift, so M selection clear. And at that point we will have no selection, and then I don't have shift, I don't have a selection, so I will set the start of the selection and the end of it. Does that make any sense? let's say if start is valid and end selection start is not the same as end cursor. Does this make sense? See, you can't change. They are changing colors, but it's so subtle. Because it's only the scissor has like a slightly brownish handle. Damn. All right. But it works, I assure you. Maybe we should have a lighten rather than a darken actually for these. So let's see, what do we have dimmed? So we did the grayscale, and then we'll do lightened to grayscale lightened, and we can just add like a little helper for this. We'll just say what happens if you do this? Blah 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 blah. We'll say lightened max 255 and right times 1.2. This is a bit of a hack, but who cares? Okay, and I'll just say and this will work. Okay, let's just do that in all places. Damn, I screwed up the blue channel there. Okay, so hefty rebuild. Because touching color.h here, adding a little lightening function. Of course, I think you're supposed to weight the color channels differently for the human perception. Human perception of the color channels is like slightly stronger in some channel. That's not what I wanted to happen. Dang, dude. Alright. What the heck? I'm stupid, because min is what I wanted. I goofed it up. Now we were just turning everything white, because anything that didn't overflow we would turn to white. That was clearly a mistake. Okay, let's just assume that works out. And now we get to see it. Yeah, see, you can see those guys turn slightly lighter. I guess it actually shows up now, right? It's very cool. Hope it shows up on the video. Okie dokie. So now the remaining thing is that the actions don't update in the menu here, only in the toolbar. And when you click these, they don't do shit. That's cool. So let's look at the G menu item. Okay, so now we have to have a way for the menu item to tell the server that enable state has changed. So let's see. So in order to for the server to be able to identify this WS menu item, he knows his identifier, and we also need to know what menu ID he's in. So let's see. Let's tell him that as well, since we're here. Unsigned menu ID. So the menu ID is it's not the same as the menu item identifier, but we need to pass it along regardless. Because without the menu ID, we don't know how to find this individual menu item. So let's put that down here. Inside menu ID const return menu ID. Oops. Okay. Yep. And make WS menu item. These are I guess we can just pass -1 here. So this is the system menu, which is special. We just have to pass a menu ID along. Let's just use -1. Well, it doesn't really matter here. What matters is this. This is where the one of the Windows Service Client connections is requesting an add menu item. So here is where we would do request menu ID. That's more like it. Or actually, we already have that in menu ID. Okay. And let's see. Now, what we really need is to have a client message that says something like set menu item enabled, right? Then what we would pass it is the menu ID, the identifier, and the enabled. Those are the important ones. In this case, yeah. Maybe it would be useful to be able to change everything, actually. Let's say update menu item. Yeah, let's do update menu item, and then we'll just send everything across, because that will enable you to change the text of the menu item as well. You know, which is going to be useful. Okay, so this is where we make all these requests. So let's just say let's just copy this straight up for now. Put that into G menu item. Put that in private. Void post or update Windows server. Okay. Void G menu item. Update Windows server. We need some includes here. Okay. This would be an update menu item request. This guy needs to know his menu ID as well. So, menu ID, we need to be told about that. I guess in this case it doesn't matter so much, but in this case it does. Let's just pass it everywhere. Make menu item and menu ID. Okay, now everybody knows their menu ID. That's cool. And I guess we just do auto action, then action. And the identifier. We need to include the GUI event loop. And these guys need to take the menu ID. And menu ID. Okay. Yep. Make all. Yes, message loop. Okay, so now we're gonna need to handle this new message. So put it right next to update menu item because it's very similar. It actually has all the same stuff in it. But we're gonna make an update menu item request instead, which will be essentially the same as this guy. Maybe we should be merging these things. Maybe, probably, I don't know. Like, I don't want to figure that out now. So let's just do it this way for now. And we'll add that here. Update menu item request. And then we have to add a handle request overload for the update menu. Wow, I feel like this is going slightly fast here, but it's okay. Okay, we're really burning through this stuff quickly, and every time I hack on the Windows server, I always feel like there's just so much rote work going on. I think maybe I want to write some code generator or something for this stuff, or try to figure out a different way to express it that doesn't necessitate building all of these intermediate representations. Yeah, I want a response as well, actually. So we'll say did update menu item. But here we don't want to make a new one, but we want to find the old one and replace it. So let's see. Photo menu item is menu dot item with identifier. Menu item. Let's see. Then add menu item identifier. Okay. Menu item. Well, yeah, shit. Let's add that. What the heck is the menu? WS menu. Item add. WS menu item. So we'll make a similar one to this guy, except menu item with identifier. Unsigned identifier. And we just loop through all the items, and then if item identifier is identifier, return item.putter. Otherwise, return no putter. Fine. Okay, and now we have the menu item here, so we can say setback. Wait, no, hold on. Set text, request text. Set shortcut text, request shortcut text. Menu item set enabled, request is enabled. Oops, that's cool. And we gotta add setters for these. Almost there. That's for you. And set shortcut text. And the shortcut text is text. Okay, make all. And when we send the update item, we gotta wait for did update menu item. does. Cool. Man, that was a lot of hacking without any testing. Let's see how that works out. Come on, finish the build. Okay. And it seems like we're home. Why are we home? Why are we home? Go here, we send update menu item. Get here, turn it into one of these. But we never handle it. Aha. Yeah, so we need to actually add this to the switch statement here. And I think we can just rebuild the Windows server only, actually, for that little change. No, still I like it. What's the problem? Bad menu ID. Okay. What's the bad menu ID? Update menu item request. Update menu item. Menu ID. gmenu.cpp. I guess I don't have my menu ID yet. Yeah, right. So I don't have the menu ID at this point because I haven't actually created the server-side menu yet. So here, after we get the menu ID, because the menu ID is assigned by the server, so let's just go through all of the items and tell them set menu ID. Can I even? Not allowed. Okay, I'll just do it this way. God, freaking keylines. Okay, G menu item. Set menu ID. Let's use a badge. G menu. And menu ID is menu ID. Okay. Include AK badge. Class G menu. That's fine. And we'll do that. Disabled. Copy is disabled. But that's supposed to be undo. Okay. The menu item. Let's have a look at where we're sending this. Identifier is my identifier. Did I mess up this guy with identifier? Item with identifier. had to take a short break there. So, where was I? Oh, right, yes, the undo thing getting changed instead. Let's figure out why that is. And I guess being the top item, probably we're at index 0. G menu item is supposed to know his identifier. But how? Looks like we never actually set it. Okay, let's do it the same. Set identifier. Okay, and we'll do the same. Oh, actually, we can just do the shit down here. Set menu ID and set identifier. We don't need that loop up there. Okay, so it seems like we were just not propagating the identifier to the menu item. Okay, one more time now. Dun, dun, dun. Wait, hold on. Disabled? Oh, they're not repainting. I don't know if you can even see that on the video, but they're not repainting when they change. Let's see, how do we do that? Draw. I guess we can just, where do we draw the menu? Let's see, redraw. Okay, so we'll say void ws menu, redraw if needed, or if there is no menu window, we can just return. Okay, and ws menu item. Here we do something like ws menu. From menu ID. It should really exist. WS menu. Hold on, that's not good enough. Let's do it a little bit differently. Let's do it like this. Make WS menu item. And let's just pass it in. So let's say, let's do it this way. Menu. Instead of passing the ID, we're going to pass the system. This way. Okay. And menu dot menu ID, and then we'll just store the pointer to the menu here instead. neither of these need to be explicit. Menu, and we'll do this in the implementation. Maybe it's not even needed, actually. WS menu item. Okay, hold on. We're almost WS menu. And menu. Okay, come on. Almost there. Menu. And this will allow us to redraw the menu here. That's perfect. Okay. Okay, let's see how that works. It's gray. It's black. It's gray. Okay, it's working. And these guys are changing too. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. That is cool. Guess we could change the delete action as well. Text editor. Delete. Wait, hold on. Where am I? Where am I going? This guy. Paste action. I would like to do the paste action, but it has to work a little bit differently because it needs to interact with the clipboard to be able to tell if there's something to paste, and that's a little complicated for this patch, and I've already been going on for quite long. So let's just do the delete action as well. Enabled, not enabled, enabled, not enabled. These are not enabled. It's very cool. Plop. Oh yeah, delete still works here because it's handled by the text editor. So it's a bit different with control. Control X works when you have a selection. I guess it doesn't make sense actually for delete to be disabled because you can delete as long as the document is non-empty. Okay, I'll figure that out later. But generally speaking, I think we have a patch here. So let's have a look at it. Git diff. Did I do a lot of printfing? Notifying. Yeah, let's just get rid of that. Okay, so let's do a little patch review here. So in the text editor, main CPP, we make sure that we don't move these so that we can refer to them later. On selection change in the text editor, we enable or disable cut and copy actions. And okay, in G action, register button and register menu item. This will be called by the respective buttons and menu items. Here we have the iteration helpers for each toolbar button, for each menu item. And then when we change the value of the enabled flag on the action, then we iterate through all the toolbar buttons and all the menu items and call set enabled. That's cool. And then in G action header, we add the enable flag and the register helpers taking the badges. Got the declaration of the iteration stuff and hash tables tracking the buttons and menu items linked to this action. And then in GButton destructor, we unregister ourselves if we register to an action. That's fine. And in GButton paint, we pass the enable flag to style painter so that it can render slightly differently. I guess basically ignoring the hover state. And here, if we have an icon and we are not enabled, then we call blip dimmed, which does the disabled look. I think that's cool. And then in the GButton mouse move event, we don't do anything if we're not enabled. Same thing in mouse down, same thing in click, and same thing in mouse up. Okay, and GButton set action. Right, so here's where we make a weak pointer to the action and register ourselves with it. And then we also take on the enabled flag of the action because that will get updated by the action from now on. Adding a set action to GButton and a weak pointer to track the linked action. There was a little visit here to the G event loop where we discovered that we had this unused action map. So get rid of that. And then when doing the global keyboard shortcut stuff, we only activate if the action is enabled. Okay. Then when building a G menu, so G menu is the client-side menu. When we're creating menu items, we pass along the menu ID. And also make sure to set it here when the first time we learn what the menu ID is. And pass along the enabled state for the add menu item requests. And here we have the G menu item stuff, register with the action, unregister instruction, update the Windows server on set enabled change. Here's sending the state to the Windows server with the update menu item message. Wait for the did update menu item response. Blah blah blah. G menu item. Take the menu ID and the constructors so we know what it is. Then I have these little helpers here so that you can alter it after the fact if you are Gmenu. Default enabled to true, that's fine. And then in Gtext editor, oh yeah, here's this thing where we did update selection everywhere. And also here where we try not to have a empty but functional selection, but it's just a completely empty selection. I'm calling did update selection in a million places just to make sure that we fire that on selection change callback. Here, adding that callback here. Here's the header for that. Okay, then in Toolbar, when we add an action to the toolbar, then we tell that button we created that, hey, this is the action that you are linked to. Okay, and then GWidget set enabled. Yeah, if the enabled state changes, we just update. Nothing too interesting about that. And then the messages to the server, so did update menu item and update menu item. Just a synchronous request and response. Adding the enable flag to the menu struct in the client message. And here, for the Windows Server menu item objects, we now give them a reference to the menu so that they can tell the menu to redraw itself. Here we have this blob handling the update menu item request by just finding the menu item based on the identifier and then updating the text, the shortcut, and the enabled state based on what the client sent us. Okay, and here just passing the menu reference when creating menu items, dispatch the handle request correctly, declaration for that. Okay, with WS menu, so in the Windows Server menu redraw, if we don't have a window yet, that means that like the menu exists, but it's never been on screen, so then just ignore the redraw request. And then in WS menu draw, if the item is disabled, then we paint the text in mid-gray. And here, when you mouse up over a WS menu, if we have a hovered item, but it's not enabled, then we don't call it activate. Basically meaning that if you click on a disabled menu item, then nothing happens. And here's a little helper that walks the menu items until it figures out if you have one with a specific identifier. Okay, and WS menu item changes. I guess this was just about taking the menu reference and adding the enable flag. And here, yeah, when you change the enable state of a menu item in the Windows server, then we redraw the menu. Okay. And here just a menu item, Windows server menu item declaration changes, primarily like adding the enable flag and adding setters for set text and set shortcut text so that they can be changed by the update menu item request. And here is the enable flag and the add menu item request, and here's the completely new but copy-pasted update menu item request. Whatever. And this part here is where we process the incoming client messages in the Windows Server message loop. That's just the same as before, except now we take the enable flag, and here where we create the system menu, we have to pass in the reference to the WS menu, because WS menu item requires that now. That's fine. And then I hacked this little color lightening function here. It's good enough for my needs right now. And then in Blit Dimmed, we added alpha blending support, I guess. And in Style Painter, if we're painting a toolbar and it's not enabled, then we don't do any shading. And there's the declaration for that. Jesus, that was a lot of changes. Okay, let's see. Maybe we can just commit some of them separately. Get add shared graphics painter. Get div cached painter. Add alpha blending support to Blit Dimmed. Okay. Shared graphics color. Get commit. Color. Add a simple enlightenment color. Get status. I feel like everything is really quite entangled after this point. Maybe gwidget and gwidget CPP. Yeah, actually, we can do this separately. Gwidget add enabled. There's nothing magical that happens for painting. Which widget? See if I handle it manually in their painting code. Jesus. Okay. I guess shared graphics stopping. Style painter. Don't paint frame around. Don't paint hover frame around disabled toolbar buttons. Jeez. Okay. GUI G text editor. Yeah, we can do these separately as well. text editor, add selection change, callback is probably a bit eager may and won't coalesce all updates or even ignore no op changes to selection. Okay. Now, this is the rest of it. Okay. Then we'll say GUI plus add support for enable disabled actions. The new file state of a G action now propagates both to its toolbar buttons and any menu items referencing action linked to the action. Toolbar buttons are painted grayed out style when disabled, and items are gray. Cool. Let's look at it one more time. Did that good? It did good. Very, very cool. Okay. Well, I think that about does it with this video. I went on for quite a while. If you made it this far, then I sincerely thank you for watching, and I hope you saw something interesting, and I'll see you next time.